Hello, welcome to the Dead Man Walking podcast. I'm your host, Repeatedly Dead Fred, author of the soon to be released memoir, The Summer I Died 20 Times, which is actually what happened to me. And that's how I got the nickname Repeatedly Dead Fred. Today is part of our small business series in financial literacy. And I am pleased to have Maria Konikov with us. Maria and I met probably 10 years ago, maybe, through the Asper alumni system in Toronto. And she has a really interesting position with a company called YEdI, which is actually, I guess formerly a school now, almost a university. That So what's your position there? And do you want to tell us a little bit about what YEdI does? And
Sure.
thanks for
So
being
thank
on the
you for,
show.
yeah, first of all, thank you, Fred, for inviting me. It's great to reconnect and to be on your show. I am the Director of Operations at YEdI, which is the York Entrepreneurship Development Institute. It had many faces, but essentially it is a business accelerator, a charity, an academic institute, and now also a private career college. What YEdI does is we help entrepreneurs take their ideas and turn it into viable businesses, as well as help them scale and grow. And we do that through delivering various programs, which I am happy to talk about later.
Okay. So in our pre-talk, you mentioned that you used to be affiliated with York University, um, but now you've gone more independent. So I'm guessing this isn't limited to people from York region anymore.
Right. So we did start off being in partnership with the Schulich School of Business. We ran one program with them called the Incubator Program, and we ran that for many years. And now, as we have grown and as the needs of our entrepreneurs have changed, we have decided mutually to start off to go our separate ways. But we are still great partners in the community. We still refer entrepreneurs to each other and happy to support everyone in the ecosystem. And uh, sorry, can you repeat your question again? The second part of your question.
I
If it's not
think it
limited to York
was.
region.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's
This is the effects of having a 3-month-old baby.
yes, the little mum brain.
Yes. So in any case, yes, it's not limited to York region anymore. We've been open Canada-wide. Actually, during COVID, one of the best things that happened during COVID is we made our smart classroom. So now our programs are available in a hybrid learning environment, which is has a lot of interesting technology. So participants from all over Canada and all over the world can actually participate in the program and have an immersive experience as if they're in the classroom with the live participants. So it's open to everyone at this point.
Oh, cool. So now I just forgot the question I was going to ask you.
It's contagious.
Oh my gosh, I got mum brain from you. That's terrible. Um, I think it was a Bank of Canada statement that I read the other week that uh, banks are starting to order checks again. Customers are wanting checks to avoid the fees of credit card companies. And you're thinking, why am I talking about this? And they said, it's because so many more people are trying to become entrepreneurs now. And, they've all lost their jobs during COVID and they're starting off businesses and they're trying to reduce their expenses. But I don't think most entrepreneurs know there's an organization like YEdI that's out there that can be so helpful and tilt the balance towards their success. So that was a rather winded way of saying YEdi's a really good program.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And that is our mission, is to support entrepreneurs. We see that a lot. We saw that during COVID, of course, as you mentioned, many entrepreneurs, either they were laid off from their job and they decided now is a great time to go into entrepreneurship, or they realized during that whole period of time that this is not really my passion. I'm passionate about entrepreneurship. I want to launch something. And that's what they did. And we saw a lot of entrepreneurs coming our way. And that is actually, as I mentioned to you, last year, we became designated as a private career college, and we launched a diploma program in entrepreneurship and small business management. So those listening might think of, why do entrepreneurs need formal education? They can bootstrap their way, they can go to a shorter program. The reality is that entrepreneurs can be wonderful at many things, but they still need that access to high-level education, to mentorship, and to a strong community in order to build a successful business from the start. And what this program gives them is basically an MBA level education. But the best part is that we're making it accessible to every entrepreneur in Canada, and we're making it tuition free. So if you apply to the program and if you are accepted, it's a hands-on program that is specifically created for entrepreneurs. Actually, every single assignment and every single test is applicable to the business that they're working on. So they're not just studying generic case studies about companies that they'll never meet. They're they're working on their own company and improving it each week throughout the program.
It's interesting. When I was working with when I was consulting and working with a lot of small companies, one of the biggest problems I noticed with them is they would throw so much energy into their own company that they would end up isolating themselves, from other entrepreneurs, from, friends and families and stuff like that. And they just put them alone on an island. Whereas a program like yours keeps you connected with everybody and with future resources, and can really tilt the scale towards your business succeeding or not succeeding.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And having that community in the classroom of other entrepreneurs that are on the same path as you, keeping you accountable week to week, saying, oh, did you implement this in your business? How did that work for you? Which market test did you run? And really having that soundboard to go back to each week. You also have access to all the instructors and the mentors, which is something that would take a while to build for an entrepreneur on their own, versus here they come to us and we adopt them into the family, so to speak.
So where do you find your mentors?
So now we've grown to the point where mentors actually reach out to us because they want to be among the other mentors on our list. And what we found a lot, even when we started, successful business owners want to give back. They want to mentor that next entrepreneurs. It's something that they're passionate about. They actually reach out to us if we haven't reached out to them in a while saying, can you mentor this person? They reach out to us and they say, hey, do you remember me? I'm still here. I want to mentor your entrepreneurs. Please send me some people. So we find that was really helpful. And a few years ago, we had a special program for retired professionals who became mentors to entrepreneurs. So that program was really successful. It gave these high-level professionals a place and a sense of meaning, and it gave entrepreneurs access to really, really high-level professionals that they wouldn't usually be able to afford. They give them access to speaking to them.
Nice. It's it's fun mentoring people. It definitely is. Oh my gosh, I'm really having memory trouble today.
It's okay. I completely understand.
So does YEdI have a specialty? Do you focus more on like tech or biotech or just any sort of entrepreneurial idea that somebody can come up with?
So that's a great question. We are sector agnostic. We've been sector agnostic since the start because we believe that the business fundamentals are similar across all industries. So when someone comes to our program, we focus on laying the foundation for their business. And when they need help with their specific sector or specialty, that's when we refer them to a mentor. That being said, we have different streams. So we have streams for-profit businesses. We have a stream for nonprofit businesses. We have a stream for international entrepreneurs. And the caveat to being accepted to the program is that you need to be an innovative business. So for Main Street businesses, like a restaurant, for example, there are other great resources available out there through the small business centers, etc. And we try to focus on more innovative businesses.
So could you maybe think of one or two innovative businesses that you personally got really excited about that you hadn't seen come across your desk?
Sure. So one of our actually international entrepreneurs who had landed here now, he developed a technology where you could communicate with a deaf-blind person through a special glove. So you can be sitting with a deaf-blind person. It's called For Blind. That's the name of the business. And I will probably do it a big disservice if I try to describe the technology of it, but he came up with a proprietary system to help deaf-blind people communicate with the general public in a variety of situations. And he's now here in Canada operating as both a for-profit business as well as a nonprofit entity. So that's one business that we're really excited to
It's very
see
cool.
where they go. Yes, they're definitely one of a kind.
I actually have a buddy who runs a school for the deaf. He might be interested in
Yeah,
connecting with
absolutely.
that. Okay.
Absolutely. We'd love to put them in touch.
And anything else that you
So
think is really
that's one
innovative?
that's off the top of my mind. We have many interesting ones. I will not take the liberty of describing the different technologies at this point.
Hmm.
And you can check them all out. We have some on our website. We post about them all the time.
Well, now that you mentioned your website, maybe let's mention where your website is.
Sure. So our website is YEdI.ca.
Okay. That's YEDI.
Yes, YEDI.ca.
Okay. So how many people do you onboard? I guess do you have semesters or is it just a calendar year?
So we have different cohorts.
Hmm.
For our diploma program, it's a year-long program, and we generally accept around 50 students into that program. Then we
Hmm.
have cohort-based programs that run twice a year, and we accept 15 entrepreneurs per program. And then we have our international program where we also accept 15 entrepreneurs per cohort.
Okay. So what's the application process like?
Sure, great question. So for our programs, we have a three-step application process approach. So the initial application is online. You submit an application to us, and then it gets reviewed for the merit of the business. So we don't see the name of the person that submitted the application. We simply review the business idea. If the business idea is sound, it gets sent out to an external expert in that industry for their feedback
Hmm.
on the business as well. And then the top applicants get invited to an in-person interview. And the purpose of the in-person interview is to make sure that the person applying is also the right fit to carry out this business. So do they have that entrepreneurial drive? Do they have that passion? Can they take it forward? Do they have the skills? And then that's how we select the final group of 15.
Yeah, that fit part is so important. You know,
Absolutely.
you see time and time again, somebody has a great idea, but they're not the one to execute it.
Exactly. And ideas are great, but execution is everything.
Hmm. Yeah, I know. What's the big incubator downtown? Um, oh well, but I mean, I know somebody. He's an ex Winnipegger who's one of the investors, and he says they spend more time on figuring out if they have a core team fit.
Yes.
The 4 or 5 people than they do exploring any other aspect of the business.
Yes. It's so important.
Yeah. So, um, you mentioned you're thinking of becoming an accredited university,
Yes.
which, most people don't think, hey, I'm going to become a university. So what's the schedule for that and what sort of process do you have to go to become, from a career college to a university?
Yes, so that is our big ambitious plan that's we're working on it behind the scenes. We're hoping to launch a university in Alberta, actually. We're in the
Hmm.
process of we have a facility actually in Alberta already in Sylvan Lake. And we're in the process of working with the ministry and submitting the necessary applications. The reason behind it is, as I mentioned, is entrepreneurs need access to education. They right now it's simply unaffordable for them. Most entrepreneurs cannot afford to take $100,000 out of their business, as well as the time commitment to go and complete an MBA program. And then they end up not having access to the knowledge, not having access to the mentors, and then it leads to a lot of failure that in my opinion could be avoided. So if they were given the tools and the access, I think we would see a lot more successful entrepreneurs here growing bigger businesses. So that is the intention behind starting this, and stay tuned.
That's very exciting. I know when I did my MBA, you know, they they really don't teach you how to be a manager.
Exactly.
You learn a lot of fundamentals, but you can hire people to be your accountant or your finance person. The magic really happens is how you work with people. And I
Exactly.
suspect you have more of a premium on those types of skills and benefits.
Right. So as I mentioned, there are a few things. The thing that sets this apart is that everything is focused on the business that you're running. So you're not wasting time analyzing other people's businesses. You're applying everything to your own business and really benefiting from it in real time. So that's one of the major differences. And then, as you mentioned, this is not just for entrepreneurs, but also for business operators, I would say. So even if you have a company and you want your employees to be more entrepreneurially minded, this program is great because it allows them to take more of an entrepreneurship role within the company, and it will
Mhm.
actually benefit the business owner having an employee who has an entrepreneurial drive, and they can fulfill it by launching some project for the company and having the skills and the tools to do it properly. So in the long run, it will even generate more revenue for that employer.
So if you have something ongoing and you think it's scalable, but you don't exactly know how to scale it, your program would be great for that. Or if you have
Yeah.
a product you want to develop, but you're not sure where to find the resources to develop it,
Yeah,
it sounds like it would be
absolutely.
really good.
Absolutely. It goes all the way from thinking what is the problem that you're trying to solve, how to do the proper market research about it, who are your stakeholders, how to communicate with them, how to present to investors. And it does go into the finance and the accounting of things, of course, because
Mhm.
every entrepreneur should know those things about their own business. And it really gives you a holistic approach to knowing how to run your business. And then if you need extra help, extra support, then again you have access to the mentors, to your classmates, to the professors. So you really feel surrounded by a network, which I feel like entrepreneurs, like you mentioned, it's a lonely path a lot of the time,
Mhm.
and having that community could really be the difference between quitting too early and really taking it to the next level.
Mhm. So going back a little bit to finance, do you help people with their financing? Do you have a venture capital? Do you have a business loan program that goes with it?
Sure. Yes, so we do have a venture capital fund, which we use to help our alumni. So we do invest in our alumni. And it's unique in the sense that we will invest for a 1 year term. And then at the end of the year, we will decide if to convert it into shares or to ask for the loan back. But the other that's sometimes the structure of the deal most of the
Mhm.
time. But what's unique about it is we want to be that middle person. So right now, what happens is entrepreneurs get initial funding from friends and family. They'll get a couple of grants, they start scaling, and then they kind of go into this valley of death before they can
Mhm.
get real financing, like a
Mhm.
Series A round. So they're not quite there yet, but they've exhausted their resources. So we come and we kind of help them climb out of there. And we
Mhm.
say, you can apply for the VC funding if you have a third party investor that's interested in the business. So they have a letter of interest or a letter of intent, and then we will discuss the terms. And once the third party investor comes in at whichever level they decide, then we step out. So they kind of buy us out, and then
Mhm.
off they go. So the purpose of the VC fund is not to make millions of dollars for anybody to put in their pocket. It's actually to help those entrepreneurs reach the higher investor, and then every revenue that's generated through the VC fund, because we're a charity, goes right back to the charity to support entrepreneurs to be able to offer these programs for free to Canadians. So everything goes right back into the charity.
Interesting. And I'm guessing many of the mentors also have access to venture capital because, they've been successful business people themselves and they actually have their own network as well.
For sure. Yeah, that's a great point. So many of the mentors do have their own connections and can make introductions, of course. And
Great.
then we do, just to go back to your other question, we do have access to seed grants as well that we give entrepreneurs. So we give up to $30,000 in non-repayable seed grants, and then we have different programs that come up to help out and give some funding. Like we had during COVID, we had a cash flow operating grant for entrepreneurs to kind of be able to keep their lights on if they needed to, if they
Mhm.
were struggling, they could apply for that. And we have these types of programs come up all the time.
So even if you're a long established company, but you're trying to transition into something more, you know, more of a startup mentality, do you think that would be a possible fit for you?
Uh, I think so. It again, it depends. If it's a company that has 500 employees and they're launching something within the company that is an entrepreneurial venture and they want to send one of their employees to go through the program, absolutely. We've had organizations that have been around for 100 years and they came to the program and it was really useful to them. It's a nonprofit called Girls Inc. They're all over and they came in. We had also organizations like Autism Ontario come through our program. A lot of these large these two examples happen to be nonprofit, but a lot of these larger organizations, they still have a lot to learn. And as you're saying, they're innovating right now. So they're entering a new space and they could use access to this new knowledge and new connections.
I think it would be fun to spend a day at YEdI and see all the different things that are going on.
I think you would love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we'll talk after the show and arrange something.
Sure.
So are you still working while you're taking care of this little 3-month-old?
So I don't really consider it work. I pop in here and there. I'm officially on maternity leave, but you know how it is. So entrepreneurship never sleeps, right?
So how did you actually get involved with YEdI? Was it just like you did a Bachelor of Commerce, right?
Yes, so I got my Bachelor of Commerce from Asper School of Business. And then I moved to Toronto and then I was actually running a different business on my own. And then my mom happened to come across a job posting at YEdI and she sent it to me. She knew I was interested in entrepreneurship and she said, look, there's something really interesting. We should consider it. And then that's when YEdI was really just starting out. It was maybe like a year into operating and I applied and it's been an amazing ride ever since.
Cool. Did you know Mark before? Mark is the founder.
Marat, yeah, no, I didn't know Marat before. But yeah, it's been a wonderful learning from him. He's been a great mentor to me personally.
So it's funny, I've met everyone in his family except him. Mother-in-law, kids, wife, but never him. So,
well, come to YEdI. I'm sure he'll be happy to meet you.
Okay. So Maria, thank you so much. To the entrepreneurs out there, you really should give YEdI a look. It can't do anything but benefit you. And thank you so much. Unless you have any closing comments.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. We're really excited about what entrepreneurship in Canada is doing right now, and we're here to support entrepreneurs. Even if you just want to reach out and to say, this is something I'm working on, do you have any advice? Or if you just want to say hi, we're happy to meet all the wonderful entrepreneurs out there, and don't be shy. Thank you again, Fred.
You're very, very welcome. Thanks for coming on. Thank you for everybody for tuning in to the Dead Man Walking podcast. Please like, subscribe, go to Maria's website. Are you the primary point of contact?
I'm not. You can contact me or you can contact us through the website. If you go on YEdI.ca, you can find all our contact information there as well as all our socials. And somebody from our wonderful team will be happy to connect with you.
Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you, everybody. Have yourself a wonderful week, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.